What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody?
Good morning, everybody.
How are we doing today? We are back again for another Beauty and the Brains podcast episode. What episode this is?
11. No,
Ele-
12.
We're number 12. So, I'm Luke1817. This is my co-host.
I'm Weatlh.
And we are here for the shenanigans
Mm-hmm.
on Saturday today. Our topic is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very interesting topic. It's a very interesting topic you have today. It's really quite serious. Talking about, or we had a question that was asked on why does it seem that more melanated women are targeted for cesarean section than other nations?
Mm-hmm.
How did it make you feel?
It makes me rant. Okay.
Okay.
Makes me rant. It's a lot going on in the medical field. I guess I gotta do background first. Okay, so most doctors, they ask you what you want to do and they try to go by it, but it depends. Like medically, they do it for a certain reason. Like, for example, like the fetal heart rate is less than 120 or something. So they try to hurry up, get in and get out. But I don't know. I feel like C-sections are very critical. Like people just think, oh, you're just getting your belly sliced open. No, you're put under anesthesia. And that alone is kind of critical because you can go into anesthesia and not come back. Mm-hmm. Because if somebody's just not doing their job, you know. Mm-hmm. And then before the anesthesia, they give you like a spinal epidural. Now, everybody knows your spine is very sensitive. Mm-hmm. If you insert, what they do is they take a needle about this big, and they inject it into your spine. And some people don't even really know like where to put it, but they literally inject it. And I know you heard about the story. The girl, she got an epidural and now she paralyzed, and that was at Sacred Heart.
That was here?
Yes.
And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna say it live. Wait, okay. Dang, that's why. She was here?
Yeah.
She still paralyzed? That was recently, or was that?
That was like a couple years ago. I feel like she does have some peeling back, but it's like, once you rupture something in your spine, like the spinal cord,
it gets deadly. Mm-hmm. Okay, so as you can see right out the gate, it's really heavy. Mm-hmm. This is a very, very sensitive topic. Mm-hmm. So share this with your friends. Like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And let's get ready to dive into this because we about to go there. Mm-hmm. So we're starting out medically. Mm-hmm. I heard you say something about there were different causes or reasons that could potentially affect whether a woman has a cesarean section. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the most common reasons according to what you're taught in school, or what you know about the medical field?
It could be preeclamptic, and when you have preeclampsia, it's pretty much when you have a very high blood pressure during pregnancy. Mm-hmm. It's not lifelong. It's literally just whenever you're pregnant, you have high blood pressures constantly. Mm-hmm. And those high blood pressures pretty much affect like your neurovascular system. You pretty much can just go into seizures and you puff up edema everywhere. Mm-hmm. And that's like the critical thing because the amount of fluid that surrounds the baby, it can like waver because what's it called? The amniotic fluid is like a certain amount of fluid. Now it also can vary how much your baby comes out, how much it weighs. If it's like a big baby, I'm gonna say that. I'm not gonna say the medical terms, but if it's a big baby, majority of the time the amniotic fluid is like less. If that makes sense.
Yeah. For volume.
And big babies, they are more prone to have hypo or hyperglycemia depending on the mother. But that's all gestational. Okay. It's kind of finicky, but the major thing would be preeclampsia when you're pregnant.
But preeclampsia is when the cord around the neck.
No, that is something else.
So what's preeclampsia?
Preeclampsia is high blood pressure throughout pregnancy.
High blood pressure. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, what I was gonna say? Oh, dang, dang. I lost my whole train of thought. I'm sorry. So when the mother is okay, this is my question.
Mm-hmm.
How common is it for melanated women to have actual birth complications that aren't seen until it's time for a cesarean?
All the time.
All the
100%.
time.
Mm-hmm.
But we have technology that will let you know ahead of time
Mm-hmm.
if you should expect certain things.
Mm-hmm.
However, a lot of our women get to the end point,
Mm-hmm.
and now all of a sudden it's an emergency C-section we have to do for you.
Well, it can honestly, I feel like it depends on the nurse. Like if the nurse is really for the patient, she's gonna be on top of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, in the melanated world, most female patients they always have like this stigma of being, oh, she's just saying she's in pain, she's really not, stuff like that. And that's like the start of it. Because if I'm a nurse, I'm taking care of you, and you telling me you in pain, I'm finna address what the pain is. But majority of them just feel like, it's majority of the nurses that I've watched in like my maternity clinicals, and they're just like, oh, she's just being a baby. I'm like, she's in pain. Like, remember in nursing school, they teach you that pain is subjective. It's whatever the patient says it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't sit here and just judge her saying, oh, she ain't in pain for real. She's just drug seeking.
But is every patient doing
But it's not even every patient.
I'm saying from her eyes, the nurse's eyes.
Pretty much.
Everybody's the same.
It's supposed to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've literally watched her go from a patient, a melanated lady, bad background, stuff like that. She treats her lesser than the rest of the patients.
Thank you. That's all I was waiting on. Okay. That's all I was waiting on. You go ahead. I'm sorry. That's all I was waiting on.
But that's really what happens. They get ignored. I feel like black people in general, all across the board, they get treated differently, especially when it comes to stuff that's related to pain.
Mm-hmm.
It goes ignored. Because, like, oh, you're supposed to be tougher. And it's like, why?
Okay, may I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, remember last week
Mm-hmm.
we talked about how the hospital should be a very last resort for our people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the main reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it's always an experimentation.
Mm-hmm.
We got this new medicine here. Try this out.
Mm-hmm.
Unstudied.
Mm-hmm.
On this. They'll give it to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Take this and try it and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a negative verse, then come back. But then when I sit back and watch from being in there, because when we had our massage therapy clinicals,
Mm-hmm.
we had to go to West Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you sit back and watch, they're not doing that to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's not everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to our women birthing and cesarean section, we have to understand the incentives that have been put out here for our people to continue to go through this process. There's a reason. Doctors are incentivized for every melanated pregnancy that is pushed into a cesarean reality.
They paid more.
They get paid more for doing that to our people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, and the reason why they get paid more, and just to sum up a long story, is due to our spiritual advantage that we have when coming through the birth canal.
Mm-hmm.
A baby's head is soft when it's coming through there.
Right.
And when it comes through the birth canal, the mother's opening to her birth canal is narrow. And the narrow opening with the soft head will create pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And when that pressure hits the baby's certain melanated center or the pineal gland, it's like cracking a garlic clove, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the melanin spills out.
Mm-hmm.
So when the baby is crowning, it's the spiritual awareness that happens to the baby's pineal gland activates when it comes to the crown chakra. The issue is people don't do that.
Right.
Their people don't do that. So it's all about keeping your baby from becoming spiritually aware. That's why we have so many dead black folks out here mentally. Because majority of our people have to go through a cesarean section. Now we're gonna dive into this a little bit more because there's a lot more study and topic onto this. Because when you get into the background of the spiritual realm and keeping our people, it's always a game to keep our people as disconnected as possible from our spiritual gifts, if you want to call it that. What type of action, if any, is being taken to resolve issues that surround Black cesarean sections? When you ask the right questions,
none.
There's none.
None.
But the cesareans are increasing every day. And there's no study on how to reduce. Now you have an agenda.
Pretty much.
You have an agenda.
Usually you're not supposed to really go through a C-section unless you want it, but most females don't want to be put under anesthesia. So I would say what classifies you to get a C-section would be if, like you said, if the baby has like a prolapse cord. If the cord is coming out before the baby, then yeah. Because medically, if the baby is coming out and the cord is already out, when the baby pushes through the canal, they can cut off their oxygen because they still attached to the mother. So that would be a emergency situation to where they're like, okay, we got to get the baby out. Or if the baby's breached, they're coming out wrong, then yeah, they either sometimes flip them and then let them come out, or I don't know why they just cut them open and just take them out. What's another one? It's prolapse cord, breached. Oh, and like you said, if the cord is around the baby's neck, then they would be like, okay, yeah, then we got to take the baby out. But other than that, I haven't really noticed anybody just getting one because they wanted one. It was because something happened.
Or they're coerced
Yeah.
into getting it done.
Because they try to make it seem like, oh, it's much faster and it's less painful. And like,
but you're not.
Of course, you're not yourself. You're not on Earth. You literally go into like this other realm because you through anesthesia. They numb you from here down, all that. Like, yeah.
If y'all want to keep getting mutilated on, all this other type of stuff, we're going to keep depending on other nations to supply us medicine that don't have nothing to do with us at all. In the same token, do y'all ever study about what doulaship and nursing was before Europeans came to America?
They don't teach that.
They don't teach that to y'all at all. So this is what I do know about doulas. In the earlier times, the nation all the tribes were filled with doulas, and they were all Black. The European came over here. When I say European, I'm talking about the Africans first. Okay. Then later on, it's the white folks. They came over here and they institutionalized medicine as or they monopolized it, medicine. What they did was they created a department, because all they do is create paperwork and licenses and all that kind of stuff to try to gain control over something. So they created this office where now nurses had to register, apply, take classes, do all this extra kind of stuff. And through that register, they disenfranchised every Black doula. Before they came here, we maybe had one or two babies pass away under the care of our elders. It wasn't common for our babies to die at all. Now, all of a sudden, when they take over, we have a massive incline of our babies' deaths. Okay? And we also have a massive genocide of Black doulaship in the maternity community. So they literally took it over.
They still do. They don't even I think you have to go through a certain class or course to be a doula, but I feel like doulas are pretty much just nurses.
They are, if not better.
But they're mainly trained in maternity and all that type of stuff.
That's right. So women out there, doulaship is the way to go, especially if you're melanated. And here's the thing. When you get a doula, the doula's power inside of the hospital room goes to a certain extent. But after the as long as you can stay outside of the hospital, like you give a natural birth or water birth, something like that, then you keep control. The minute you cross the threshold of a hospital, they're immediately trying to assume jurisdiction over the body.
Right. That's why they get you all those, registration forms that come in, and they gonna bill your insurance, but they have like a series of waivers that you have to sign to even like proceed.
That's right. So you flood with the documentation first. That's to take control of the body and also decrease liability. And then it's experimentation time.
Right.
So cesarean section is not because we have to understand this as well. Your physical body, especially for melanated people, is not supposed to be cut open. It is not, the internal is not ever supposed to be exposed to oxygen or hydrogen, because the outside air contains more hydrogen than anything. You're not supposed to be exposed to hydrogen because your blood begins to oxidize on the inside of you. So cutting a melanated person open is never God's intention for your vessel.
It's not.
Never. Your vessel has the ability to heal itself in ways that we don't even begin to understand at all, on levels we can't even begin to understand. So when we go under the knife of the foreign nation, most of the time it is to create some type of or the atmosphere for experimentation, because they don't understand you. They can't. They can't understand you. They don't want to. You're right. They don't want to, and they can't. So whenever it's coming to our people, we're going to try this on you to see if it's going to work. Or we're using this means to destroy you. Look at COVID. That's your thing right there. How many people went to the hospital and said, "Oh man, my finger broke," and then all of a sudden
they got COVID,
and you hooked to a ventilator, and then you're gone. It happened so many times during that span of 2 years that I'm surprised people are not talking about it no more.
They don't want to talk about it no more.
They were literally killing people for money. This is what I'm telling you. It was an incentive. It was incentivized. The paperwork is out there. You can go search it. It's on the internet. They were incentivized to hook people up to those respirators, knowing the respirator was the death sentence. You know what I'm saying? And they were incentivized. So people were coming in, the doctor would literally tell the nurse, just write it on there. Right? That's what they had. Just write it on their chart. Just write it, because when they turn the paperwork in, that's how they get the money from the government. Just write it on there. You see? And a dead man tells no tales. He can't speak. This is the medical industry that we're dealing with. It has become a false technology-based AI type of system. Is almost completely computerized.
Pretty much.
Robotic. Okay? I don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole. You take over. Because I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Hold on. I'm going to say this right quick. If you continue forward in the way that we're going, the hospital is going to start producing androids. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so it pretty much kind of piggyback. Have you seen like this video of this lady? It's the black lady in the hospital. She said she just came in for like something minor. They admitted her, and for some reason, the nurse kept coming in there to like take blood. And she was like, "Well, why are y'all taking my blood? Y'all just took it like an hour ago." And then from that, she felt like she was in danger. She was like, "Okay, I don't know what's going on. They keep taking my blood." Come to find out, they was taking her blood and taking it down there to like an older white person or something who was sick and needed the blood transfusion. Allegedly, they were like a match.
And they was siphoning blood.
And they was siphoning blood off this lady the whole time she was in there. And she was in there for like probably 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
Think of the amount of blood they were taking from her. If you coming in there 12 times a shift, because you coming in there every hour to take blood from somebody, and you thinking they won't notice. And she said that like they tried to drug her up to where she wouldn't notice that they kept coming in there for blood.
What the F, man?
It was crazy. I was like, that's crazy too.
Was that the lady where they had the police in there and all that? And she was like, "No, y'all not finna touch me. Don't touch me," or whatever.
Yeah.
That was her?
And they tried to deem it as she was like psychotic, so they Baker acted her. But it's like, you aren't telling me why are you coming in my... That's the thing. When you a nurse, you're supposed to tell me what you're finna do to me. You ain't just finna come in here and just take some blood, like...
And keep moving.
Yeah, because it's people have religious things. Like they have, you can't take blood, you can't do this, that, like, I think that's a Jehovah's Witness. Like they don't do blood and all that type of stuff. And then, like I said, Muslims, they don't do, if I'm a male patient, you ain't finna be a female patient to work on me. That's how they are. So you're supposed to just announce what you're doing. And they wasn't doing that with her.
Of course not. What hospital was this at? You know?
I don't remember, but I know it wasn't him. It was like somewhere up north.
See, you got to be careful, man. You got to be careful. You never know who knows what's going on in the bottom floors of the hospital? Because it's like 2 or 3 of them that go beneath the ground floor.
I can honestly tell you what goes on because I've seen it all working at a certain hospital.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm not going to say too much, but I'm just going to say that it was a night that I was checking. The house supervisor told me to go down to the morgue and see, like, if somebody signed out this patient. So I was like, okay, cool. Walk in the morgue, this lady, she has, like, this older black man on the platter. I remember putting him in the freezer a long time ago. But she has him on the platter, and she's, like, taking his eye cornea, like, his whole eye out. And I was like, at first it scared me because I ain't never seen nothing like that before. But I walked in and I closed it. I said, oh, snap. And I just stood there. I was like, let me go in here and see what she doing for real. I opened the door again and she was like, oh, they call me the eye snatcher. You know, I just come in and take patient eyes. And I'm like, so what are you doing? Like, are you making it like into like false eyes or like glass eyes or something? Or are you taking it for like, she's like, oh no, I'm taking it for, making, what's the thing called? Eye contacts. And then I looked in the chart on who this person was, and if he was a donor or not, and he was an organ donor. But I had just put him, like, in the freezer. Like, that's the thing, like, the family and everything, Bimbo, whoever, ain't come get him yet. And I'm like, that's crazy. Right. Y'all snatching stuff off of him, and he ain't even been to, like, the funeral home yet. That's right. But that's what they do. That's
right. It's
and nobody knows. Yeah. Until I guess they get to Bimbo and the man ain't got no eyes, so they gotta
close them down, right, and seal them shut because it's hollow holes in there. That's right. And see, people don't realize that organ stealing, man, that junk is real. You remember, but so not to jump topics because you know what I'm saying we talking about cesarean section, but it's all linear as to why the hospital is not really your friend. That organ stealing thing, when you mark yourself organ donor,
you setting yourself up.
You setting yourself up for failure now. I'm going to tell you. You mark yourself on an organ donor, you put a hit out on your own life because your organs are worth more youthful and in pristine condition than they are after you've gotten older and more damaged and depleted. You understand? So putting yourself out there saying that I want to be an organ donor, thinking you're doing a good thing for the society if you pass away over time, it don't work like that. You're literally targeted. Okay,
pretty much.
That's because you signed the contract in that way. So once you pass in the hospital, they can take whatever they want off of you.
They can do whatever they want.
Anything, skin grafts, blood, organs, eyes, heart. You know what I'm saying? Now, because we got to tell a lot of these women out here taking fat from here, putting fat, moving skin, and doing all that. That's called Frankenstein. If you taking parts from something else and putting parts in something else and something else putting parts on top of this that don't belong to it, that's called Frankenstein. You're literally building a Frankenstein monster.
It's a video out right now. This older lady, she had like a BBL a long time ago or something. And now it's like gravity sitting in with her.
Frankenstein.
Her booty's down here. Her booty down here, and then like her boobs just here. And I'm like, you a little bit too old now to go get that fixed.
So. No, don't tell her that. Don't tell her that.
Did you see Oprah's new picture? I was like, no way. Like,
nah.
And the fact that she keep tagging Weight Watchers in the thing, I'm like,
Weight Watchers ain't had nothing to do with that. Come on, Oprah. Oprah's
evil.
Yes, that mug is invested in Weight Watchers. She done went and got her body done.
She went and got her body done at the age of 70.
Look now.
And everybody's like, oh my God, she looks so amazing for 70. I'm like.
She's a billionaire.
She can literally go lay on the table right now if she wanted to.
And they're gonna take care of
And
her.
they're going to take real good care of her.
Right. But then she want to advertise Weight Watchers, so now everybody else go run into it off her image. Mm-hmm. The tricks of the devil. It's all around us. You know what I'm saying?
Lord.
That hospital again is not your friend.
That's
so all
y'all,
y'all,
got money.
all y'all out there that's going and making y'all body into Frankenstein. It's so funny to me. I'm sorry. I just have a picture in my head. But all y'all women out there that's going to make yourself bridal check. so when it all said and done and it bites you back, then you're going to understand, you're going to remember this conversation right here.
Will.
You know what I'm saying? This is not the way you're supposed to be doing yourself. We are not living in a natural environment anymore. And the reality is, have you heard this about the Cabbage Patch Babies?
The ones that are made?
You remember the Cabbage Patch dolls? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the Cabbage Patch dolls have a whole history. Like, it's a whole history behind that.
A dark history?
It's very dark.
Wow.
Okay, so check this out. So in the earlier 1700s, late 1600s.
Okay. Slavery.
Right. Mm-hmm. They had institutions. Female-driven institutions, European female-driven institutions, where they would supplant babies into the society. Okay? Now, and it's a whole thing. So have you ever seen a cabbage grove? Like a cabbage? Mm-hmm. You see how big the heads of cabbage get? Mm-hmm. Okay. So the information says that the babies are grown, they're clones, and the babies are grown in the heads of cabbage. When you go out there to those cabbage groves, it looks like alien eggs. You got to find the right ones. I'm gonna have to send it to you. So
crazy.
So this was way back in the day. That's where the idea for the Cabbage Patch doll came from.
Them white folks is crazy.
Clones. Okay? So they've been cloning babies and supplanting them into certain population centers to shift the population. Okay? So most of these people out here that are like, what's up, Jay? Most of these people out here that are brain dead to a degree.
They're Cabbage Patch doll.
We're walking around with literal clones around us. Now, they were implanted as babies, born through the Cabbage Patches and put up for adoption. They go through the adoption houses. Or I'm going to say this too. I know this is going to scare a lot of people, but I hope not. Or they would take your baby and replace it with a Cabbage Patch Kid. So you would literally be taking home a clone. Okay? You literally be taking home a clone. And they're out here everywhere. And we don't even realize it. Okay? So, dang, that's crazy. Because this the thing. If we were aware of these situations, they wouldn't be so sensitive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But because it's so sensitive to put this type of thing on people's minds, it makes it almost difficult to talk about. Because what if it's you and you've been noticing your child been acting weird? You know what I mean? You watching your child and all of a sudden, man, who the hell is that? That ain't my baby. Like, who is that? Because that flip. This is the world we're in now. These androids being introduced to us. Cabbage Patch babies. We're going to do a whole expose.
Doing crazy to your blood.
You know what I'm saying? So taking the lady blood and feeding it to something in the basement. Talking about a real rich aristocrat. Come on, man. You feeding that blood to something in the basement. Okay? These are the type of experimentation, type of things that are being done around us and to us every single day. Soon as the baby come out, pumping full of vaccines.
Whoa.
For real.
You talking about like the shots after birth?
Yeah.
Well, one of them's only vitamin K.
Well, no, I mean vitamin K is see. Okay, look now. we hold on. So look, even though they say vitamin K, I can say high C, but if you don't look on the back and read what's in it, you could be getting high C, fructose corn syrup, arsenic, selenium, You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And all I said was, oh, yeah, it's just high C. Right?
Right.
So when we're getting these things from the hospital, most of us don't ever ask what's in it.
Yeah, they don't.
We don't.
Me? I'm your worst nightmare. What is that?
Mm-hmm.
What it do? What's the side effects?
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Now listen, when we go back to cesarean section right now, most of the time the mother is drugged out of her mind.
Mm-hmm.
She can't make rational decisions. She can't answer questions from a rational perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that is not on accident, because they do that to every single one of them. Then once you're drugged up and they know you all loopy, here they come with a million questions, but nobody can be in the room with you.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? These are the devices of your enemy. Your enemy will never, if this was on your team, for instance, I told somebody this the other day. If you pretty soon, because did you see the expose about, and I know we kind of jumping around, but it's all relative. Did you see the expose about the lady in the nail salon with her daughter? So they was in Texas, and they was in Texas, and the lady was getting her nails done. So her daughter said she felt uncomfortable, wanted to go to the car, but she didn't tell her mom what was going on. So the lady stayed in there getting her nails done, and the daughter called her sister and told her what was going on. So supposedly, the Asian lady that was doing the daughter's nails had the live on her phone, and it was a guy. And she had the live pointed towards the little girl, and the man was on there putting his thumb up like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? They was checking her out. And the girl felt like it was creepy, like you're like auctioning me to this dude or whatever. Man, come to find out, they had been taking pictures of all kind of people. The mama went for the lady phone. She said, "Give me your phone." So the lady that was in the nail salon, she started dodging the mama while deleting stuff out of her phone before she could get her hands on it. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
They do that.
The devices of your enemy. Who's the most? When have you ever seen an Asian go to a nail salon? Never. These Asian people, but you ain't never seen an Asian walk their ass in there and get their nails done. Never. Who is always in there? It's
us
and white women, right? Okay.
You don't see Indians, all the rest of them.
Africans,
us.
Exactly. You don't see them because they're going to stick with their own people. It's going to come to a place, because once we learn the devices of our enemy, because this is what's going on right now, we're becoming aware. It's going to come to a place where the only sense that's going to be made is to depend on people who are in the same situation as you. And that's going to be for you to turn back to your own people for everything you need, because it's less likely that you are going to destroy you when y'all are both or been set for destruction by the whole world. You're going to work together, and we're being pushed back into that space. A lot of us are in denial. A whole
Very much so.
lot of us are in denial.
Yep.
But there are a lot of us that are beginning to wake up and see what's going on. We need more. We have a pelvic floor doctor here that's black.
Here in Pensacola? Wow.
Dr. Roper.
I ain't never heard of her.
Yeah, she cool people. But we need more stuff like that.
We do.
We have black lead nurses, charge nurses, staff, registered nurses, staff nurses, like the people that lead the floors or whatever. We have more of those people coming around. More black doctors graduated this year and last year. You know what I'm saying? And they're coming out with the heart not for the bourgeois, like the boule. They're not coming out with that type of perspective. It's more so about helping their family members who don't have access to health care.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're coming out with this type of understanding. It's not televised, you know? So as we going forward, understanding these industries, medical, medicinal, is cancer an industry?
Yeah, they profit off of it.
Cancer is an industry, right? The cancer is industry because our bodies aren't supposed to do that. All we have to do is
everybody got it now.
Right. Everybody got cancer. Now it's just like how they did AIDS.
Right.
You know what I mean? Meanwhile, they was injecting people. You gone? I'll see you later on, man. They was injecting people with it. It wasn't nothing that was being caught naturally. People were being injected. They went to the hospital and they were being given injections with HIV in it. Okay? So when you're dealing with these people, it's important to understand, first of all, that you even have an enemy. We think it's kumbaya out here. Everybody is on the same playing field, and it does not work like that. That is not how supremacy works. It doesn't work that way. If I'm a supremacist against you, and I start helping you get stronger and help you understand finance and help you understand politics and religion and this, and I give you all that information, I can't be a supremacist no more. I can't. So my mindset has to be fixated on destroying your people in order for me to maintain supremacy in a place I don't belong at. You get what I'm saying? It has to be focused on destruction. Our people need to understand this.
I just don't know about them. I don't. They so worried. They just worried about the wrong stuff to me.
Yeah, I agree.
It gets on my nerves.
Do you feel like you would have the space to be the type of nurse that can educate your clients in that setting? Would they allow
feel like
that?
I would, but I gotta get there first.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get there. Well, are they gonna? Do they allow y'all to tell them, like, don't listen? The doctor told you don't do that. Do this. You can't do that.
You can advocate for your patient. Like, if you know for a fact the patient don't really need whatever the doctors say they need, allegedly, you're supposed to advocate for the person. Like, okay, I don't think they need to do this. Let's do this. But I feel like in the real world, most doctors are snobs. And they feel like they have like this God complex, or it's like anything I say goes. But the thing about it, I feel like a lot of nurses are taking the fall because nurses are supposed to follow physicians' orders, but then it's all about charting. Charting is what's going to get you away from a life sentence. I just feel like most doctors just look up what they need to look up and then be like, okay, well, here's some amlodipine, when the patient really don't need it. And if you say something to the doctor, it's like you challenging them, but it's really like, dude, like we playing with people's lives. You got to say something. I feel like most doctors are snobs, and I feel like that's 100% true. I've dealt with it.
That's true. I've seen it.
They have short temperance. You can't, like, if you ask them to clarify an order, they be like, your ears ain't working. Like, they're real rude. Me at clinical, I'm a nursing student. I'm with my nurse, and I sit down in this random chair that I see because I'm like, okay, we finna go through these doctor's orders or whatever. The doctor on the floor, she comes and she just hovers over me, and she's just rubbing her hands like with, I guess, Germans or whatever. And I'm like, a little bit close. I'm like, okay, hey, how you doing? Like, and I slide over because I'm like, why are you all up on me? Come to find out, she was waiting for me to get up because she said that's her chair, and nobody's supposed to sit in that chair. And I'm like, you worried about the wrong thing. Like, it's 6 other chairs over here.
Right.
Why are you worried about the one specific one that I'm sitting in?
Because the doctor really has no purpose.
Pretty much. The nurses do all the work.
That's
you
right.
just got to sign off on stuff.
That's right.
You can do that from home.
They're overpaid management. They really have no purpose.
They don't.
Because the nurses are really doing all the work. All of it. Even when it comes down to how's your pain levels, okay, I'm going to get you some of this, then they just need to go get an approval signature, and then you can disperse it out. But she already knows what to do. You know what I'm saying? The doctor come in there for 2 minutes, press on your belly. Oh, okay, such and such. They don't. I have friends that have been honest with me straight up, and they tell me straight up, I played all the way through college. I didn't learn anything till I got in the hospital residency. I didn't know nothing. So I graduated from school because it's easy to just get the answers and graduate.
So Quizlet.
That's it.
Just Google.
Go on Quizlet. You good. You got all the
everything
answers.
under the sun on Quizlet.
And then you can do it like that and party the whole time, and then wait till you get in residency and start trying to learn something. This is why I challenge them. I challenge them all the time. The amount of money in your pocket does not accumulate to what's up here. And if you know how to challenge people the right way, you will understand that money, that image that surrounds the money that comes with that, it dissipates very quickly.
I'm telling you, most doctors use Google. They be like, okay, hold on. They write down your symptoms and everything you say in that room. Then they going on that computer and figuring out what the hell is wrong with this patient. Oh, high blood pressure. Let's give a man amlodipine. Let me write off that. Right. Yeah, they have parameters. Like, I feel like everything is like a cheat code for them. They have parameters. If this patient is in pain, 1 through 4, give them Tylenol. If they say their pain is 5 through 10, give them morphine. That's literally like how doctors do things. Like, you think he just randomly going like, has a fever. Let me figure out what he needs. No, they literally have everything done for them.
So your healing is really left up to you.
Pretty much.
It's left up to your body. Like it's supposed to be anyway.
Pretty much.
And they just getting paid off writing papers.
Pretty much.
Interesting, man. Mm-hmm. But the real modalities of healing, except for a chiropractor, which really in that world of natural chiropractor is supposed to be in the last place. Their last place. Naturopathic doctors should be first.
They should.
You know what I'm saying? But they're taken out so that the doctors that don't know anything can continue this game. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So people who are actually focused on your healing are knocked out of the way on purpose. Their media is pushed to the bottom. They're suppressed on purpose because the hospital cannot function if your body is actually functioning like it's supposed to. They have no purpose. Only emergencies would a hospital have any reason to be, because delivering babies, you go to a doula. You have sicknesses, you go to a herbologist. You see what I'm saying? You have muscle pain or little joint ache pains or misalignments or whatever, massage and chiropractic. You get what I'm saying? You don't need the hospital like we think we do, but there's people that let them get a sharp pain in their side, they go
to the ER.
Straight to the ER.
Straight to the ER.
Straight there. Doc, I had a little sharp pain on me. I want to make sure that, you know what I'm saying? It's a thing that we have become. I know my grandparents did that a lot too. You know what I mean? Especially my grandma. She'd be like talking herself in the having pain and stuff. I'd be like, Granny, like, I just seen you walk past now. But well, you know what I'm saying? So but it's just the way we look at things and our mindset is what sets us up for these type of destructive failures. Our women should not be getting cesarean sections. Your body is more than equipped enough to handle births and pregnancies due to the fact that before the European came over, our success rate was almost 100%. So if there were issues, they would have shown when we didn't have all this technology in hospitals and all these mammograms and all this other kind of stuff. What is it called? What's a mammogram? Oh, no.
It's for the breast cancer.
Oh yeah. Okay, I thought I said something vulgar. So okay, all that before there was even that, X-rays and all that stuff, we had almost 100 percentile birth rate without anybody else's influence. Now these people that came over here, now people dying left and right. Okay.
It's almost like they put Patrick in charge of a lot of stuff.
Patrick
from SpongeBob, the dummy.
Yeah, that's right. Education
is the blind leading the blind.
You know what? This dude said something that was very, very, very important. What? I think. He was like, how come out here in society, when people turn 65 or 70, they're deemed as a liability to the system? However, the people that's running the country is all 70 plus.
I'm saying it's not a young person in that dang on Senate that stay off is like it's all not. Of y'all is probably mentally
they see now
back in their 40s.
Right.
That's what I feel like. Y'all back in y'all 40s in y'all mind, but physically no.
It don't make no sense.
Jit was freezing on camera the other day.
Who?
The old dude that looks like a little snapping turtle. That's in charge of like laws and stuff.
You talking about
I think his name's
Miss Romney?
I don't know his last name. But he's an old white dude.
He was freezing.
And he just literally like he was in the middle of the interview, he just was like
a clone.
I was like, he probably glitching.
Okay, yeah. You know they be glitching all the time.
He was glitching real bad.
That Oprah glitched.
Oprah glitched. Oprah is girl.
It's a whole bunch of them. Remember that time Shaq was on TV And then, well, they probably remember this, but on ESPN, Shaq was sitting on TV, and that mother was just froze. He was like, and it was like had to be at least a minute. He was just sitting there looking straight ahead like this. And then the other dude, the white dude that be with them, he noticed it. And then he immediately asked Shaq a question and said his name. And when he said his name, it brought him back. Then, what's that dude name? Green, that played with Steph Curry? Draymond Green. He did it. He glitched. Dwight Howard glitched.
Somebody asked me this question yesterday. They were like, why is it that all of our funds and resources go to like people in entertainment, whereas us, the little people, we literally barely scraping to get by? I said it's got to be them folks. It's the elite.
It's a bourgeois game and a boule game. So we have, and this we, whatever. So we have the boule, and their job is to keep us distracted from the reality of the world. For me to have to spend so much time watching a man dribble a basketball and then throw it into a circle, that's a distraction. So they pay them millions and millions of dollars to create the essence around the game as if it's a major deal when it's just a distraction. While you're watching these playoffs and watching all these basketball games or football games, they are passing policies behind the scenes that now we look up and we can't do this, and we look up and there's no more this, and we look up and there's less of this. These are the policies that are happening while we're distracted. So all those high-paid athletes and entertainers are supposed to be, see, this is the thing. An athlete being high-paid doesn't bother me because when you have athletes that are like Muhammad Ali, that are like, who else is it? Like activists, like what's his name? Not Cam Newton. What's the old boy name? With Kaepernick.
Kaepernick, yeah.
Like Colin Kaepernick. When you have athletes that are like that, then they're standing for something. They have a direction of morality. So you pay them high dollars for their position. But when you have all these athletes out here that are being controlled, like look at Dwayne Wade. That is not the Dwayne Wade that came out of Maryland.
Sure wasn't.
Okay? It's not.
Miami Heat Wade.
Yeah.
Where he go?
That ain't him. That ain't him at all. Who is this feminine, real skinny? That ain't how Dwayne Wade body type was. Exactly. Russell Westbrook, that other light-skinned dude they got wearing dresses online, talking about that's the new style and all that. These people are being replaced. They come in there and they get their DNA. It sounds far-fetched, but it's because we don't understand the history of these things. So when it comes down to, remember I told you about the cloning? Okay, so there's an actual company, and I got it written down at home. I have to send it. Remind me, I'll send it to you. There's a company, and their job, their company is based around cloning of human examples. Barack Obama, Michelle Obama were their number one contributors for in a certain time. During that time, Malia was born. Okay. Now, then you have to turn around and look at this again because they supply all the celebrities. That's what their slogan is about. The cloning company. They say it in their slogan. They're about hire people who have the money to do it, right? Will Smith, Jada Pinkett. Look at Willow and Jaden. That's the opposite. So Willow is Will's clone. Jaden is Jada Pinkett's clone. You know what I'm saying? And they named them accordingly. They are not the only ones. There are multiple artists, celebrities that have gotten themselves cloned, and they holding these children up in front of you. Blue Ivy. Okay, so you have to understand what's going on. You feel what I'm saying? And we look at this stuff because we look at those people as if they're regular. The reality is that you can tell if you pay attention. I know we're a little bit out topic, but it's interesting. If you pay attention, you can tell in every major artist, entertainer's life, you can tell when the clone came online. Kanye West, when he was with Trump and disappeared, the clone came online. Jamie Foxx, that's right.
That is not Jamie. I don't know.
That's not. It's not. That's not. That's right. He just can't. Beyonce. Definitely.
Too light for me right now.
That was a white woman.
Very much. So I was like, when did Beyonce get this light? She like a caramel color.
We used to go. We would go to Astroworld in Houston, and they would be there. Beyonce, Kelly, then the other two members that was there with the original Destiny Child. That was before they blew up. So they was, and she looked nothing like that. So who the hell is that? The clone came online when Beyonce did this. She went live from her trailer, and she was like sobbing about how she sold her soul and this, that, and the third, telling people don't get into the industry, all this other type of stuff.
This was recent?
This was a few years back.
Or before she had a baby?
Yeah, this was before the baby. So, but then look, I'm gonna tell you, because like when she did that, and she was just talking a little bit about the industry. First of all, you can't find that video nowhere. It's scrubbed, okay? But right after that, that's when the image of Sasha Fierce came online. Right. It was right after she did that. Introduced Sasha Fierce. Now she on TV talking about, I don't know what happens. She just takes control of me, and now I turn into this entity. Come on, man. Come on.
I don't even like Beyonce.
I don't listen to her.
I don't care. I don't like her. I really don't like her. I honestly feel like Kelly was a stronger singer than her.
Always.
Aaliyah was a stronger singer than her.
Yes.
How all of a sudden she got all these Renaissance tours and everything, charging the arm and the leg, and y'all paying for it.
Right. That's right.
This girl said she literally, what she did? She moved out of her apartment just to buy a ticket to the show.
That's the brainwashing.
And I was like,
it's the brainwashing.
at the end of the day, she ain't finna pay for you another house when you go back home.
No, she's not. But it's the brainwash. It's distractions. Remember I told you, distractions. It's a distraction. It's the image, because who is she linked to? That's the question. She's linked to Jay-Z, and Jaguar Wright.
Jaguar Wright be going in on everybody.
Jaguar Wright she just did a video about exposing Diddy, Jay-Z, and Usher. And Usher was staying with Diddy when he was young. And Diddy be
I told y'all Diddy is Santana's man. I told y'all that a long time ago. Y'all ain't
you did say that.
I said that.
That is true, man. So now you see, and 50 Cent troll of the century now. I don't know how we got on this topic, but it's interesting. 50 Cent trolling everybody. So the reality is all these people is not being exposed. So what is Beyonce connected to? Doing rituals, blood sacrifices.
What she said?
Okay.
She takes scriptures out the Bible and plug herself for her feminine cycle. Who does that?
And y'all run into a concert when Silver Boots off Temu. All right,
paying $2 for some concert tickets, and that ain't even travel included. How, Sway?
So all y'all people out there in aluminum foil.
Aluminum foil from head to toe.
That must have baked potatoes. Look.
Is it not true?
It was true. But do you even know what silver represents in the spiritual world? Then think about this. You remember what happened to all them folks in that Travis Scott concert?
They died.
You want to know why?
Because he was doing the sacrifice.
You want to know where the entity was?
Where was it?
It was right under the stage.
Under the stage.
Go look at pictures that people took while it was happening. And look how dark it is under the stage. You can't see. It's pitch black. There's lights everywhere. It's pitch black under the stage. The entity was literally sucking souls out of the audience from right there under the stage. We don't understand what's going on in this world that we're in.
He went off the grid after that.
He did. And now all of a sudden Rihanna got 2 babies, right? So when you're bringing these lives online, 3 now. 3. So you bringing these lives onto the scene after you've consumed souls. What is that in her belly? We're gonna talk about that cloning company so y'all can understand, because it's becoming a commonplace thing, and they're even now about to offer it to regular everyday European people. Did you see my live when I was talking about the birthing centers with the pods? They have in Europe, I think it was France, they just opened the very first one. It has 250 pods in it. And the pod is going to allow the parent to go in there. You can go online. You can pick what attributes you want your baby to have. They will then grow the baby in the pod, and then you come pick it up.
Like that little filter everybody keep doing.
Yes. Yes. You understand? We don't get it. We're not paying attention. It's like we think all this stuff is normal.
Somebody said like that mess is not normal a long time ago, and they didn't believe them. They was just like, oh, it's just the app, it's just the app. No, it's not.
It's not. It's not. It's literally scanning your brain waves to see how you think. And you're gonna start seeing more people that look like those babies. They're gonna start popping up in the world. Where they gonna come from? They're being created. It's AI. It's an artificial world. What happened? What I'm gonna say this, and I'm done with it. In the very first Matrix, you remember? This was the one where he was still asleep, right? On VHS, he was still asleep. So when he finally woke up, what did he wake up in? He woke up in a pod. You feel me? He woke up and then when he looked around, it was thousands of pods everywhere with human bodies on the inside that had been grown and manufactured by machines. They're literally bringing the underground to our face. That's why you get that first facility with them 250 pods in there to grow people in it. That's the Matrix.
It don't make sense to me. You know how they take your blood and they feel like this whole tube, but when they take it to the lab, they just use like a little, not even a drop on a little thing. My theory is, now I could be wrong, but my theory is that the blood that they're not using, they're taking it to like the little pod things
underground. Or it's being fed to something.
If you really needed to test somebody's blood, you don't need that much.
You don't.
You literally putting it on, you dropping it and you putting it on the slider, putting it up on the microscope.
Mm-hmm.
Why have like 3 or 4 tubes full of blood?
And they say just in case they need to go back and get more, but it's not for that. It's not for that, because even if you take that blood vial and they use everything out of it, that's immediately to go into the sanitation thing, right? But when they allegedly, right, that blood, man, listen, I feel like the blood is being fed to something.
Yes.
Okay, that's just me now.
It only makes sense.
That's what I feel like. It's being fed to something.
I watched a nurse. She literally admitted into the ER.
Mm-hmm.
The patient, she comes with 4 different tubes or more, depending on what they're like. For psych patients, they do like a certain panel, but it's like a panel of tubes, and she sits there, starts an IV, hook one up, fill it, put it to the side, hook one up, fill it, put it to the side. Even when you're doing employment drug testing, they do the same thing. They take all these tubes, they fill your blood up, and they send it off to the lab.
But you're only there for one.
Only needs a drop. I be thinking all out this way, but I feel like it makes sense.
It does. The left field is where the answer's at. And they call it what? Conspiracy theory?
Right. It's a whole, that's why I love conspiracy theory TikTok, because it's like a whole bunch of people on there talking about stuff that needs to be talked about.
That is very true.
Like when I sent you how our blood was originally blue.
Right.
But they're telling you low or you iron deficiency, but they're trying to shift it to be red.
Right, to make it more metallic.
Right.
Because our natural blood is non-metallic.
It's copper.
It's copper-based. That's right.
But they tell you copper is bad.
But see, that's right, because this right here, see how it's turning blue?
It's blue.
Underneath. That's right, and this is copper.
Man. What is it?
Interesting. Who is that? Oh.
Can you hear me now?
What's up, G? Muted. Oh, no.
Am I muted? No, I'm muted.
You muted?
Now I am.
Why? No.
What's up now?
No, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
It's them folks, they muting me.
Let's see. Maybe you got to pull the mic up some. Appreciate that, G.
But yes, that's my theory. I'm sticking to it.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Because, and the evidence is sitting right in front of our face, as usual. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Man, dog, we at the end of our hour. Dang. We were going in too.
We was.
That's fine. Okay, so look, we covered a lot of different topics today. And there's so much more that we can discuss into this. Don't think this is just the one episode and that covers all, because it doesn't. These things are given to us from a multi-dimensional perspective. If I come to you and I say, here, take that cup of coffee, and I'm your enemy. This cup of coffee got deceit, it got deception, it got poison in it. It's all this stuff in here, but I'm going to give it to you with a smile on my face. It's good for you. And here you go. And then you take it, okay? Called acquiescence. We receive unto ourselves.
Yep.
We are literally dealing with, in this world now, a basis where everything given to our people has a multi-dimensional attack attached to it. Where'd all the guns come from? People killing each other every day. You want to know why? Do you want to know why?
Because it's set up that way.
Well, when you're getting the guns, most of the time the guns have the serial number scratched off, okay? And they get in these guns and they can't trace them. But if you pay close attention, because there's pictures online of the actual serial number, and you zoom in on it, you'll begin to see a lot of goetic symbolism into the serial number. Now, the goetic demons were controlled by Solomon. 250,000 goetic demonology, which is supposed to be balanced by 250,000 angelic hosts. Okay? What we have here is an unleash of demons into our world, unchecked. Have you noticed in the music, everybody wants to sound hollow?
Right.
Everybody's hollow. Like everybody's like, it's all hollow. Everybody wants to be dead. You know what I mean? And then they use the life from the 90s, either the melodies, the lyrics,
everything,
the singing, something from the 90s to give their music life. But everybody wants to sound dead and hollow. The reason for that is because from the base chakra up, they're completely empty. And that has been created like that so that when these entities are released into our world space, now they have something to attach to. So now that's the reason why you see everybody with a gun. The guns are the demon. The demonic symbol is being put into the device. And now because you're soulless, it attracts. And now it's there in you. So it controls what your mind and your heart is doing. Only the creator can reverse this type of process. But it has to be from within the person. That process is not only the gunplay, it's also the hospitals, it's the school systems, it's the banking systems. You know what I'm saying? It's every aspect of our life that we think is normal today. We have a lot of work to do.
A lot.
We have a lot of work to do. And it's not going to happen in one lifetime, just be honest with you. But we do have quite a bit of work to do in order to get ourselves correct. Okay? And that begins with awareness. So, did you have anything else to say?
No.
You sure you didn't want to rant about something?
I already did my rant.
Oh, okay. So, Moelle already did her rant.
It's at the beginning.
It's at the beginning of the show, so you have to rewind it back and watch it. And I done ran my mouth enough for 2 days.
So you're going to be quiet for 2 days now?
Negative.
Oh.
So, with that being said, we appreciate everybody for tuning in today. What's the comment say?
We're definitely under attack.
Definitely under attack. That's my man, Truth for G. Y'all can check him out. Hey, G, I think G moved to his show. Did he move his show? I don't know. I have to get with you and ask. I think he moved the show, but you can check him out because he's here on WPMM, and he goes in about a lot of different topics. You know what I'm saying? So check him out too, man. And y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Keep it tuned in with us. We're going to be back next week, and we'll have more continued discussions. Send those questions in to that email down there. And if you want to bless our Cash Apps, those are down there as well. We greatly appreciate everybody. And you guys stay as blessed as you can. Don't forget to include your family and your friends in your prayers. Keep your enemies in your prayers as well so that you can be blessed.
Keep your eyes on them. You got to watch them.
Definitely. All right. With nothing else left to say or do, I bid you all adieu. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.